Hey guys, what's up? Son of Chelsea here, and oh my god, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm sitting and doing this review. Full time, Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 2. Chelsea have lost half of the Premier League games we played so far this season. It's ridiculous, and I know there'll be a lot of crisis talk and all of that, but I'm just going to talk about the game today. In its context, because this was a game we needed to win. You've got teams like Man City who have been absolutely amazing this start of the season. Teams like Liverpool, teams even like Arsenal who've had an average start to the season, but even they won today. So it was critical that we won this game. And the performance of the players simply just wasn't good enough. We have too many weak links in our team. We have too many players who are just not performing at the standard that we want them to. I mean, for God's sake, we're champions. We're Chelsea. Every team wants to beat us more than any other. And we're walking out there and we're casually playing. We're casually passing the ball around. Everything's so casual at the moment. And as you see today in the Premier League, I said it last night. I've said it in my preview. You just knew that if we were off it today, Crystal Palace, we were there for the taking. That was Crystal Palace's view. And they took their chances. They had 2 clear-cut chances, even more than that probably in the game. And they deserve to win. There is no, I don't care, you can show me possession stats. Crystal Palace deserve to win that game because they did the key thing in football that you have to do is put the ball in the back of the net. The only positive was Radamel Falcao. For the only clear-cut chance we made for him in the game came from Pedro. Falcao nods it in, and you think Falcao, he's going to be our hero for that game. But just a minute later, just casual, just lax defending. They get in again, another goal. And it was so easy. Both of their goals were just so easy. And the way, you got to give some respect to Crystal Palace. And before just ranting on Chelsea, Crystal Palace did brilliant today. Defensively, they were brilliant. Attacking-wise, they were brilliant. They didn't actually have to bring Bolasie on to, I think, about 60 minutes, if I believe. They took off Zaha. And even then, they were doing okay. Defended diligently all through the game. So credit to Crystal Palace. You deserve those 3 points. And, I think you're going to have a good season this year. So, there's no excuses, really, that I can bring up. So Crystal Palace deserved that win. It's illogical if anyone tries to make an excuse, because Crystal Palace on the balance of playing, a balance of just created chances and also defending, they defended like we haven't this season, and I know a lot of blame will be put on Ivanovic. The first goal definitely came from the right side again, as we expect it to, and I think that just on that second goal, I just think there are too many players just underperforming at the moment. Hazard and Costa did barely anything in that game. Barely anything. It comes to a situation where we're 1-0 down and Jose has to throw Falcao, Loftus-Cheek and Kennedy on. 3 players who, what is it? One of them's making their debut for Chelsea. You don't want to throw him on 1-0 down. And, I didn't think Kennedy had the worst of games, actually. Because I think for what he was doing, he added some pace into the team, actually took a shot. Fabregas actually took some shots today, but it's just simply not good enough because 11 players on that pitch aren't playing well enough. Ivanovic, yeah, I think he's just too slow at the moment. Babarahman, if he's on the bench, why isn't he playing? That's another question I want to know. Just so many questions at the moment, and so much frustration, and the fact that so many players like Eden Hazard was absolutely immense last season. He was magic in games, what he was able to do. And this season, we barely see any of him. He's like Mesut Ozil, he's disappearing on the pitch. He's not even doing anything. And it's just so frustrating. It is just so frustrating at the moment. Why so many players are just underperforming. And this team was so brilliant last year. For that first start of the season, we came right out of the blocks. And we were doing what City were doing right now. Most impressive team, scored lots of goals, looked good at the back. As you can probably hear, it's raining outside. Pretty appropriate for the day, for my mood. And the way Chelsea played today, just damp and dismal, just horrible. And some of my family went to the game today. I feel sorry for them. Being at that game today, unfortunately I wasn't at the bridge. I'm sure anyone who went to that game wants a full refund because, it was just an awful performance. But that's what you get when you support a football team. You win some, you lose some. But there's still questions need to be answered on why some of those players were just underperforming, and it shows a lot that actually Pedro was the one to make the first clear-cut chance and what led to the goal. It makes sense, doesn't it, that he was the one, and even he didn't have the best of games. But this is just maybe the international break may be a good thing. I don't know. I'm just looking. don't know if I can find a positive when you lose at home. Jose on his 100th game for Chelsea loses at home for Chelsea in the Premier League, loses a game. And yeah, that's about it. That's my rant over. Let me know all your thoughts on everything I've said in this video down in the comments below. I'm going to forget about football for the next 2 weeks because that's the way it's got to be after Chelsea lose. Maybe not that bad, but you know, let me know your opinions in the comments, guys. Follow me on Twitter at Son of Chelsea. Let's hope for the best in 2 weeks because Jesus, this is not good.